Well, I think the situations in India and China are fundamentally different in that, for the most part in India, the living donors sell their kidneys. So these are live people who are in poverty, and they'll sell a kidney in order to try to get themselves out of their situation. Unfortunately, there was a remarkable study that came out a few years ago by a nephrologist from Pennsylvania, and he and his colleagues looked at 300 people who donated their kidneys in India and followed them 6 years after their donation. Found that on the average they were paid about $1,100 for their kidneys, but found remarkably that they did not lift themselves out of poverty. In fact, at least a third of them had a lower standard of living and a higher level of unemployment than when they donated their kidney. And the vast majority of them, almost 80%, recommended that people not donate their kidneys because it didn't do what they were supposed to. Now, China, on the other hand, is a completely separate issue in that the vast majority of organs used for transplantation in China have come from executed prisoners. So these are people who are not selling their kidneys, but people who are taken and executed, and their organs used for transplantation, usually without consent and without the family's knowledge, without anybody's knowledge. As far as religion goes, as far as organized religions go, I think certainly Christianity and most specifically, I think Catholicism has been one of the most sort of ardent supporters of transplantation, not only from living donors but also from deceased donors. We have issues when we deal with some potential Jewish donors, whereas the more reform and conservative Jewish donors do not have as much of an issue. It's very rare for us to see an Orthodox Jewish donor because of the feeling that they need to be buried with all their parts intact. Interestingly enough, the main rabbis in all of the various levels of Judaism have supported organ donation as a mitzvah, a good thing, and in fact try to some extent counteract the sort of belief that they need to be buried with all their parts. As far as Buddhism goes, there appears to be a significant prohibition against donating organs as well. And in fact, one of the reasons that we see generally so few deceased donor organs from some of the Asian populations is because, again, a belief in Buddhism that you essentially need to have all of your parts. That makes the situation in China even more interesting and more unusual in that obviously the prisoners who are executed for their organs, the majority of them are Buddhist as well. However, it does not seem to be as important when considering the issue of the prisoners.